Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to look at what the papers are saying. And as usual, I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Ria, and Mike Okwache. All right, so let's begin as usual with the Nation newspaper. I'll run through all the stories before I get your comments later on. So the major headline on the front page of the Nation is states fail to utilize access to 250 billion naira UBEC cash. States fail to utilize access to 250 billion naira UBEC cash. We are talking here about the Universal Basic Education Commission, the funds accessed by states. They haven't utilized those funds. And next is the Hope newspaper. Still talking about the over 250 billion naira UBE funds lie idle in states. UBEC boss is saying this, and right there, 25 states FCT access 92.4 billion naira in 6 months. Garba laments poor funding utilization, urges accountability. It's something we've been speaking about here. Next is the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper is next, and it is looking at a different story. It says, Electricity Act fallout. Genco's discos rage as states begin tariff cuts. Genco's discos rage as states begin tariff cuts. The rider there, Enugu defends power bill slash as Ondo Plateau, others join tariff cuts. Genco's threaten shut down. All right, the next is the Guardian newspaper, still talking about Electricity Act. It says electricity tariff imbalance triggers new subsidy inefficiency debates. Electricity tariff imbalance triggers new subsidy inefficiency debates. That's on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The next paper is this Nigeria newspaper. This Nigerian newspaper is next, and it is looking at matters of food security. It says the Northeast needs urgent attention, says Red Cross Committee. The rider there reports indicates 3.7 million persons likely to be affected as foreign aid cuts may worsen situation. A concerning story there. All right, from this Nigeria, we move to the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And it is saying mixed reactions as economy hits 372.8 trillion naira after rebasing. Mixed reactions as economy hits 372.8 trillion naira after rebasing. That's the front page of the Leadership newspaper. All right, we move now to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, still talking about rebasing of the economy. It says Nigeria's GDP hits 372.82 trillion naira as poverty rate worsens. And there are questions as to what were the indices and how is this affecting or improving the lives of Nigerians. Right after the Daily Trust, we move now to the front page of the Platform Times. The Platform Times is next. Let me quickly dig that out. It says Nigeria's $6 billion forest economy at risk. Shetima cautions. Federal government confirms 40 million Nigerians affected by desertification. All right, that's the story you find on the front page of the Platform Times. To the front page of the Blueprint newspaper now. JAGA speaks on potentials of livestock export as Blueprint unveils 2024 award winners. That is the story you find there. SGF Akume chairs occasion, and that story there, and picture story of persons I believe would be awarded. All right, from the front page of the Blueprint, we move now to the Nigerian News Direct. Nigerian News Direct is the next newspaper. Says import federal government to reinstate 4% free on board levy. 4% free on board levy. Scrap 1% CISS, 7% collection. That's the story you find on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. And finally, we have the Sporting Live. The major story here, Galatasaray's transfer, Osimhen to sign 4-year contract. Finally, is going to ink that contract. Everything regarding deal is going positively. Bureau confirms, reveals positive talks with Napoli and all of it. But let's begin with the first newspaper talking about the front page of the Nation newspaper. States fail to utilize access 250 billion naira UBEC cash, talking about universal basic education. The commission is speaking about this quickly, Etoma, because of our time, how states have collected these monies, but obviously have not utilized it, because if you see the state of our schools that are meant to benefit from this, it is nothing to write home about.
I think UBEC will share in this blame, because you give people money to do something about the sector where you superintend, and they are not doing it, and you're just crying on a newspaper. There should have been a process where you demand seriously for accountability. These monies you took, what have you done with it? You ask, or you send auditors to those guys to ensure that these monies are used. But for me, saying that 90-something billion has been accessed by a number of states and they are not seeing anything being done with those monies, UBEC has questions to answer as far as I'm concerned.
Really, do they have the powers to do so? But Ria, what's your perspective?
It's so sad, because the major thing here is that schools are missing out, students are missing out, and we know how education is important for every student. Students deserve, children deserve a right to education, and it's sad that people are letting them miss out on this. We keep speaking about the government all the time, but they cannot do it alone. What are we doing as individuals? And it's sad that when individuals are given this power, they do not do the right thing. They rather think about their selfish selves than rather thinking about how to better schools. We see schools in this state, some of them don't have laptops, some of them don't have chairs, and look at the amount of money. So where is accountability? Where is all the money? Who has the money? I think it's high time that we start pushing for accountability and calling names of people that are really, doing this.
All right, so I think UBEC needs to do the needful. But Mike, let me quickly race on to the Punch newspaper now, and it is talking about the fallout of the Electricity Act. Gencos and discos are raging because states have decided to cut tariff, and Enugu is saying that Enugu State now is defending the power bill slash in Ondo Plateau. Others join in as Ondo Plateau and others join the matter of tariff cuts because they feel that Gencos are not delivering. They are talking about cost reflective tariff, but then they are not seeing anything, and so the states now have the powers to cut or slash down this tariff, and then Gencos are threatening to shut down their services.
Well, the point is, as far as an average Nigerian is concerned, the time where they actually enjoyed electricity was the days of NEPA. If we compare the realities of it. After the privatization, and then the NEPA was unbundled and balkanized or fractionalized into different whatever, Nigerians have never really gotten the promise that was made.
Yeah.
Because the promise was that the way the telecoms was, when NITEL was unbundled, and now we have all of these, telecom companies, and everybody is efficiently making calls everywhere. That was what was promised. So since then, there has been one issue or the other. Either the regulatory issues are not, panning out well, or some of the companies are not aligning with the regulation and all of that. So there has been issues, right. But I think it's more of regulation, because even ordinary traffic, the fear of the people, everybody aligning, is the fear of the consequence. So it's from regulation. It's not even in all of the, different things. It's regulation. If you regulate well, everybody will fall in line.
All right, The Guardian is also talking about that. But as we need to race on, we'll move to the front page of this Nigerian newspaper, Etoma, this time talking about food insecurity. And the Northeast needs urgent attention. That's what the Red Cross Committee is saying. It reports that 3.7 million persons likely to be affected as foreign aid cuts. Talk about what Trump did regarding foreign aid, and we see that that has really helped bridge the gap when we are talking about food insecurity. But right now that we have aid cuts, the Red Cross is saying that we need to do something about food insecurity as quickly as possible, because 3.7 million persons' lives around the line?
Yes, if I was in the federal government, that will put some pressure in my. it will sort of introduce some pressure on me. We have to take care of the insecurity around the nation, especially Benue State. You know, the Northeast has been a hotbed of one fighting or one terrorist attack, and for quite a long time. You go there now, it's as if it is the headquarters of several NGOs in Nigeria, and international NGOs too. Yes, the assertion is correct. When the aids really dry up, it's really going to affect the people of the Northeast. I just hope the federal government can see this and come up with something very fast to bridge that gap.
What can the government come up with from your perspective here?
Security.
Yesterday we spoke about food security, we spoke about flooding. When they said flooding was a big, aspect, farmers cannot go to the farm and farm again. I feel like these are just things that we need to take seriously. Rather, we're waiting to give aid when something happens and we're not looking at the problem. There's so many things we need to look at, because like you said, food security is key. If there's no food, we on this table will go hungry. And if we go hungry, we cannot be here, so.
You're right.
Hunger and its implications.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we quickly move now to the leadership newspaper. It's talking about import levy, but we need to race on quickly to the front page of the leadership newspaper. Mike, mixed reactions as economy hits 372.82 trillion naira after rebasing. And rebasing of the economy, like we know, is changing the way that we calculate our gross domestic product. And right now, we are adding more of the informal sector. We see the real estate contributing to the economy. And this is taking from, I think, 2024 or 2019 up until this point, how we have performed. And we saw that the coming in of the real estate sector has done a lot, opening up the economy. We see a number of persons from outside the country also contributing into that aspect. But how is this going to shape our economy? Because the most important question for every Nigerian is, how does it impact and improve the lives of the ordinary Nigerians?
Yeah.
Well, the point is the multiplier effect is there. When it comes to economics or the economy, it is not straightforward thing.
Yes.
It's not just straightforward, because we have rebased, and when you see the figures, we've gone up there. It does not necessarily mean it translates to the everyday. Yeah. But are there more economic activities now? Yes. Are more people making money now? Yes. But when we knock it down to the social amenities, the basic things, that is where it's still lacking, because we're talking about housing. How many, of course, houses are rising every day. People are building houses every day.
Yes.
But how many people afford the kind of houses that are being built? That is the thing, because when you jiggle the numbers, those who can't afford houses and those who are building houses, you see it's like that.
Yes.
Right.
Good.
It's lopsided.
All right, fine. When you talk about cars and all, people are buying cars every day. But the point there is that how many people can afford the kind of cars that are being bought?
Not everybody.
So,
Not everybody.
these are the things.
Because of our time, we have less than a minute to quickly race on through what's left of the papers. On the front page of the Platform Times, because the Daily Trust is also talking about rebasing. Platform, we have Nigeria's $6 billion forest economy at risk. Shetima cautions, talking about deforestation and its implication as well. But let's quickly move now to the front page of the blueprint. All right, we can race on, because that is Jega speaking on potentials of livestock export as the blueprint unveils 2024 award winners. On the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, that is the next paper. Import FG to reinstate 4% free on board levy, scrap 1% CISS, 7% collection. Import levy is something that Nigerians have been crying about, and we are import dependent as a country. But how will this improve those who import goods? Talking about the price implications of things is the next question. But finally, on the front page of the Sporting Life, we have talking about the story of Osimhen to sign 4-year contract with Galatasaray. Talking about his transfer to Galatasaray, Etoma, we have been talking about this for quite some time now. And finally, he's inking a 4-year contract.
And Ria is a very happy person.
We've been talking about it a lot on this table, and I'm like, I cannot just wait to hear that he's going somewhere.
Now, finally, it is over. This whole matter is over. But good, kudos to him. I hope and wish him all the best as he, goes on to Galatasaray, because that's where his mind has been. But thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. A privilege.
Right, great. Still to come on TVC's Breakfast. Opposition coalition raises concern over rivalry within member groups. Stay with us for this conversation after the break. Stay